Hey there, ladies. What's going on? Some of you may not recognize me. I have washed my hair and I have makeup on. So, hi, I'm Coach Kate. Uh, all joking aside, I am super excited to be able to have the time to sit down and finally go through some of this that I've been meaning to cover with several of you. I've taken on a lot of new clients in the past 6 months, and I don't feel like we've had the proper amount of time to talk nutrition. And it's super important to me because I know I didn't achieve the goals I wanted to achieve until I learned how to fuel my body properly. So I love that y'all are in the gym. I love that y'all are lifting weights. I think we have that kind of mindset that yes, I need to be active and yes, I need to move my body. But there's also another side to that. What we put in our bodies is very, very important, and it's also going to be the main driver for weight loss, muscle gain, body composition change, whatever it is that your goal might be. So I am going to cover several things with you today, but mostly what I'm going to do is give you some options, sort of like tools in your tool belt. So things that you can use to help your dietary adherence. So some of you might be brand new to boot camp or brand new to optimal performance or brand new to the entire working out scene or health and fitness goals or whatever it might be. Some of you may have been in this for 6, 9, 12 months and you're still kind of struggling and searching. This video is for all of you, okay? Because I think that there's going to be something in this for everyone that you can take away and say, oh, I can apply that to my situation. So please listen up. I wish that I could sit down with each and every one of you and just hash out those little tiny things that are going to make you uniquely you. But time being what it is, I hope this is going to cover a lot in one fell swoop and kind of give you some direction, at least for the time being. So let's talk diet. So I hate that word diet. You'll hear me talk about nutrition and meal planning and stuff like that, but I hate the word diet, and mostly it's because people use it the wrong way. So I pulled up diet on Webster's dictionary, and the first thing that comes up is food and drink regularly provided or consumed. That's the definition of diet. Okay, food or drink regularly consumed. All right, doesn't say anything about calorie deficit. It doesn't say anything about vegetables only or no processed foods or no gluten or whatever. It doesn't say any of that, okay? So a diet is what you eat, right? Your diet is what you eat, right? No matter what it is. So I just hate that term diet. A lot of times I will get clients who they want to start on a healthy eating protocol. They want to get their nutrition on track, and they'll lose a few pounds, and they'll get some momentum, and then things start getting hard, and then they're like, okay, so when do I get to stop eating like this? And that's when I go, whoa, time out here, because that's the problem. You're gonna have to eat like this the rest of your life, guys. It's a lifestyle change, and that's why I'm always preaching that sustainability and consistency are the main drivers of your long-term success. So you're never going to be able to stop dieting if that's what you term dieting. So that's why I don't like that term diet, because it already has a negative connotation, and really it's just the way you eat, and it's going to be the way you eat for the rest of your life if we get these healthy eating habits down. So that being said, I love my coach. His name's Alberto Nunez, and he's with Team 3DMJ, and he always says your diet shouldn't have a name. Okay, so if your diet is low carb, paleo, keto, whatever it is, the keto diet, okay? Your diet shouldn't have a name, because the diet, again, is just the way you eat, okay? So let's stop talking about diet and let's just start talking about the way that we eat, all right? So you should be eating for your goals, no matter what that looks like. And we're going to talk a little bit about what that means here in just a second. Also, if your diet has a start and an end date, you may want to think about a different approach. Yes, we have certain goals in mind, and once we hit this goal, maybe we might relax a little bit more, and our journey has these ups and downs, and at one point it may be really important for us to be shredded, and at another point it may be important for us to be strong, and that's just the way it goes, and that's totally fine. But like I said earlier, when you have to think about, oh, when can I eat normal again, then that's not a good thing. Okay, so your normal should be something that's sustainable for you, but it's healthier than what you've how you've been eating in the past. Okay, let's just put it that way. So first I want to talk about some just basic pillars of fitness, okay? So these are the very basic things that you need to start doing if you're not doing them yet, all right? So before you think about tracking calories, before you think about, eliminating food groups, before you think about anything, I want you to ask yourself if you are doing these things, okay? Are you drinking enough water? First and foremost, are you drinking enough water, all right? That's at least half your body weight in ounces of water, okay? If you're not doing that, start your goal there. Start your goal small. Water is like the low-hanging fruit, guys. It's so easy to do, but it's also easy to not do. So ask yourself, am I getting enough water every day? If you're not, grab yourself a big old gallon jug. Start tracking your intake, okay? Because you need to know where you're at. Another way I like to look at it is, are you having at least 2 clear urinations a day? Okay, that's all there is to it. If your pee is never clear, that's a good indicator that you're never really properly hydrated. And if you wait until you're thirsty to drink, you're already dehydrated, guys, okay? This is also a good rule to tell your children, and especially your younger athletes, okay? So that's number 1, are you drinking enough water? Number 2, do you have at least 5 servings of produce a day? That is fruits and or vegetables, okay? Ideally, we're eating more vegetables than fruit, but at least 5 servings of produce a day is the main driver that I go for just at the gate, okay? So 5 servings of produce a day, all right? Are you eating protein at every meal? That's number 3, protein at every meal. And that is a main protein source, okay? It's not almonds, it's not black beans, okay? It's a main protein source. It's chicken, it's fish, it's beef, it's egg whites, it's eggs, it's main protein source, guys, okay? So that is an actual protein source, a complete protein source, okay? When we talk about incomplete protein sources, I'm not going to get into the whole branched chain amino acid stuff and all the, BCAAs that are vital for life and all that BS. We don't need to get into that, okay? But complete protein sources are those meat sources, okay? So think of that when you think of complete protein sources, all right? Number 4, are you exercising daily? Guys, we're going to start this huge, and I'm so excited. I don't want to spill too much of the beans for after the first of the year, but I want to start a streak contest on my zone, okay? And no, that's not taking off your clothes and running naked. That is, how many days in a row can we get in some physical exercise? And I know, Casey Nelson, you're doing this right now with the 90-day challenge, and I love that. And that's one of, Rachel Hollis's 5 to 5 is getting in your daily exercise. And I think that is so awesome. Okay. And that's something that we're going to start pushing, after the first of the year, something that I need to do better about. I go in and lift hard 4 days a week, and then the other 3 days I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I can just, sit on my butt or do a little bit of foam rolling and call recovery, right? But we all need to be moving. Our bodies are made to move. So are you moving every single day? Okay, whether that's a walk, whether that's your strength training, whether that's doing a little bit of cardio, whatever you need to do to get your body moving. Okay, so that's number 4. Are you exercising daily? Number 5, are you sleeping adequately? And I say adequately because I'm not going to put an hour number on that, because everybody's different. Some people can get by, some people can do well on 6 hours of sleep. Some people need as many as 9. Okay, that's just the way our bodies work. Everybody's body is a little bit different. I think I do best between 6 and 7 hours of sleep, and that's just where, I feel good. Any more than that, and I feel groggy. Any less than that, and I'm just grouchy as heck. So I'm about 7, but you kind of got to find that number for you. And if you're not getting enough sleep, start trying to push that bedtime earlier and earlier until you feel good when you wake up, okay? Another thing with that is actually getting good sleep. So are you sleeping through the night? Are you restful when you are sleeping? Or is your mind racing? Trying to tone down those external factors that sometimes get into our sleep habits. Watching TV late at night is a big one. Being on your phone is a big one. So do you have a bedtime routine? That's a great way to start making sure that you're getting enough sleep, is to actually establish a bedtime routine. Okay, so number 5, are you sleeping adequately? And last but not least, are you taking part in stress reduction strategies? So stress is inflammation within our body, okay? And inflammation is the main driver of any and all diseases that are out there, okay? And it's also a main reason that women especially hold on to excess fat, okay? Because our bodies are under a tremendous amount of stress all the time, okay? So if you don't find your happy place, if you don't find your mellow yellow time, it doesn't matter what you do, your body is not going to respond well, okay? Because exercise inherently in and of itself is also a stressor to your body. Even though it may be a positive stressor for you, maybe feels like stress relief at the time, and it is a great thing for you to do. However, sometimes that's just additional stress to the body, especially to the CNS, and if things are already out of whack and you have a high stress job, you're dealing with the loss of a loved one, you are dealing with a child that's having trouble in school, whatever it is, stress is stress to the body. It really doesn't matter where it comes from. And that causes inflammation within the body, which can cause a lot of different, inefficiencies in the way that we process things. So taking part in some stress reduction exercises, whether that's meditation, making sure that you're taking time out of your day for you and not, constantly being on the go, sitting and doing nothing. I know some of you read that chapter in Rachel's book about how she freaked out when she was like, what do you mean I have to do nothing? Like that's totally scary to me, and I can totally relate to that, but I know that's something that I need to work on in order to bring my stress levels down within myself. So those, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things here, okay? Drink your water, at least 5 servings of produce a day, protein at every meal, exercise daily, sleep adequately, and stress reduction, okay? So work on those things for me, and if you feel like you have a pretty good grasp on those and that's going pretty well, then maybe we can work on more advanced strategies, okay? So that's what I'm going to talk about next. So after our pillars of fitness, let's talk energy balance. And I know some of you that were at the grocery store seminar have already seen this, and I absolutely love this muscle and strength pyramid. This is by Eric Helms. He's one of the coaches on Team 3DMJ that I'm a part of. This just simplified everything for me. He's got a really quick ebook that's called the Muscle and Strength Nutrition Pyramid, and it really just explains in a nutshell, at the end of the day, what really matters. Because I think nutrition has been so complicated that you get to a point where you're like, oh my gosh, I have absolutely no idea what to do. There's so much conflicting information out there. I don't even know where to start. Start here, okay? So what this shows you is, in the grand scheme of things, if we're talking about weight loss, okay, weight loss specifically, all right, or weight gain, either way, I'll show you how that's applicable, okay, if you are actively trying to gain weight to gain muscle, all right. At the very base of your pyramid is what's most important, okay? This is calories, all right? That's energy balance. Calories in, that's what you ingest, calories in, what you eat, versus calories out, okay, or what you expend. How much you're exercising, whether that be specifically in the gym or your NEAT, your non-exercise activity, okay? So if you have a desk job and you sit most of the day, obviously your calories out aren't going to be as high as, say, mine would be, where I'm on my feet 24/7, or somebody working a job in construction, or some other manual labor job such as that, right? So calories in versus calories out is always our main driver of weight loss or weight gain, okay? So if we're ingesting more calories than we are expending, we're going to gain weight, okay? There is no way around that, okay? There is nobody on the face of this earth that does not apply to this, because at some point everybody will starve, okay? Got it? That's there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, okay? So calories in versus calories out is always the main driver of weight loss, okay? After that, macronutrients. These are your proteins, carbs, and fat, okay? And I know a lot of you have heard me talk about this when I was a big, staunch IFYMer, and I still do count my macros, and a lot of you are still counting your macros, which is great. I think it's a wonderful thing to know what your food is made of and how that food affects you and your goals. I think those are all awesome things. But what this macronutrients really means is, are my food choices good? So when we're talking about protein at every meal, that's what we're talking about, macronutrients. When we're talking about 5 servings of produce a day, that's what we're talking about, macronutrients. Where are our carbs coming from? Where are our fats coming from? Okay? So macronutrients are proteins, carbs, and fats. And when we get those in an ideal balance, and for everybody it's different. Some people may do a little bit better on higher fat. Some people may do a little bit better on higher carbs. I'm a high carb girl right here, which is why I will never be able to follow a ketogenic diet. but there's an ideal ratio for your body, and it changes over time, and it will continue to change over time as your body changes. That's just something that naturally happens. So there is no magic number, there is no magic ratio for any any one person. So a lot of the times I will get a client who hops on like a website and does a calorie calculator, and then it will spit out some arbitrary macro spread that says, oh, you should go 40 30 30, or you should have this amount of protein and this amount of carbs and this amount of fat. That's a great place to start, but you may have to adjust that, because those calculators online have no idea who you are, what your dietary history is, how are you working out, what kind of workouts have you done, do you have any pre-existing medical conditions. All of that calculator has no idea who you are. Okay, so it's really just based off some algorithm, calculation, whatever that they've come up with, which would probably be okay for, I don't know, maybe 60% of the population. So they're getting a wide range of people, but they may not get you specifically. Okay, they don't know you, they don't know your history. All right, so remember that when you're jumping onto, especially MyFitnessPal, who tends to dump calories right away. For a lot of women, start us out at 12, 13, 1400 calories, and guys, usually that's not enough. Okay, because we should be eating as much as possible while still losing weight. Let me say that again. You should be eating as much as possible while still losing weight. Okay, so if we are looking to drop pounds, we still want to be eating as much as possible. Not let's see how little we can eat and see how much we can lose at once. It's what's going to be sustainable over time. Okay, so macronutrients, proteins, carbs, and fats, how those work within your diet, making sure we're getting enough protein. Most women do not get enough protein. That is the next step in your pyramid. Okay, after that, we're talking micronutrients. So, that's your vitamins and minerals. Are you getting enough of all that good stuff? Okay. I don't think I need to go into much explanation about that, but I will point out that some people are so worried about sugar, sodium, all those little things before they worry about these two things. Okay. So if somebody doesn't have their calories in check and they come to me and say, I think I'm eating too much sodium, I'm going to say, well, how many calories are you eating? That's first. Okay. If your calories aren't in check, doesn't really matter how much sodium you're eating. Okay, you could be eating 0, you could be eating 3,000 milligrams. I don't care. It doesn't matter. If your calories aren't in check, you're not going to see the results that you want. Okay, so don't ask about micronutrients before you've got your calories and your macronutrients under control. Okay, after that, nutrient timing. This is also a big one. A lot of people ask me, well, should I eat carbs after dark? Or, what should I have right around my workout? Or, when is the best time to eat XYZ? I don't know, whatever it is. But they get so wrapped up in this nutrient timing that they forget about all this stuff down here. Okay? This stuff comes first. If you have all of this in line and you've been eating like this for a very, very, very long time, and maybe you've hit a plateau or something, then maybe we can look at nutrient timing, say, okay, let's shift some of those carbohydrate, intake to peri-workout, around your workout time, right? So that way those carbs are readily available and readily used, and maybe you increase your insulin sensitivity and stuff like that, okay? But that is after all of this down here, okay? Last, and definitely least, okay? This is what I'm saying. Supplementation is the least important, all right? And most of the time it's the first place people go. Well, what kind of protein powder should I use? What kind of supplements should I be taking? None until you get these things in order and you're still not seeing the results that you want, okay? Now, this does not include a daily multivitamin, a fish oil, vitamin D, stuff like that we should be taking every day. I don't include that in supplementation, okay? Supplementation has to do more with, I don't know. Say you think you need to take creatine or protein powder, or you think your iron levels are low, so you're going to start taking an iron supplement out of nowhere. Guys, that kind of stuff, number one, you need to consult a doctor on, but number two, until all of these are in line, don't even waste your money, okay? Because just supplementing is not going to get you where you want to be, okay? So that is the muscle and strength nutrition pyramid. You can look that up online. There's a great little book that goes along with that, and it delves into all of that, okay? But that is a quick synopsis, and this is where you will hear me spend most of my time with people who are new to nutrition, is what is most important, calories in versus calories out. Then we talk about macros, then we talk about micros, Then we can talk about nutrient timing. And usually, guys, people don't even get to this nutrient timing supplementation because they still haven't got this part down, okay? So, moving on. One thing I do like to reiterate to most people is, it's funny because we've been filling out our Optimal Girl surveys, right? And usually the 2 goals of everybody that's in boot camp is I want to gain muscle and lose fat, okay? The issue with that is those 2 goals are at opposite ends of the spectrum, all right? So if I want to lose fat, I should be in a calorie deficit. If I want to gain muscle, I should be in a calorie surplus, okay? It's much easier to gain muscle when you have enough energy and fuel coming in to rebuild your body in order to do that, okay? It's much easier to lose fat. Well, the only way to lose fat is if you're in a calorie deficit and you are expending more than you are taking in, okay? So those 2 goals are at odds, all right? That being said, when you are new to strength training, sometimes it is possible to have what we call body recomposition. That's when you lose fat but gain muscle at the same time. This dream fairy tale land that you live in is not going to last for very long, okay? I will say that. So be prepared for that because it's very hard to maintain. If you are able to sit in that very small window of I'm not gaining weight, but I'm putting on a little bit of muscle at a time, it's probably very, very, very slow, much slower than anybody really has the patience for. So if you have a goal, have one goal or have the other, okay? Try not to put yourself in the box of I want to do both because it's very, very, very difficult to do, okay? So pick a goal because they are conflicting, all right? So where do we start? Once somebody comes to me and they want to talk more pointedly about nutrition, the first question I always ask is, okay, what are you currently eating? Tell me what a day looks like for you. Why don't you track a week in MyFitnessPal if they've already been tracking before that and they know what it is and they know how to do it and they're comfortable with that. I'll say, hey, get on there, track your food for a week. Let's see how it goes. I want to see what you're currently doing so I can tell you how to improve upon that. Okay? Because I think what most people are wanting is just they want a plan. They want a meal plan. They want me to tell them what to eat. And guys, that doesn't work. Okay? If I give you the same 5 foods every single day, you're going to get bored in like a week and you're going to be done with it, okay? Even if you are able to stick with it that long and you see great results, you're not going to be able to stick to it forever. And what's our first rule? Consistency is king, okay? So the longer that we can stick to something, the better our results are going to be in the long run, okay? So I am not a fan of meal plans. They may be a good place to start for some people who just need some ideas, and that's totally fine. But I know meal plans are not, they're not sustainable. So I don't like to give them out, and you'll probably hear me say that. There are certain instances where I will give them out, but I really try to steer clear of meal plans for that reason, because you guys need to learn how to eat on your own. And you need to eat food that you actually enjoy eating in order for this to be a long-term thing for you, okay? So if you come to me and say, I want to work on my nutrition, where do I start? And I'm going to tell you, you need to start tracking what you eat. Whether you're logging in MyFitnessPal, whether you are keeping a food journal, just writing everything down, or you can take a photo log, just snap a picture of everything before you put it in your mouth for 2 or 3 days and then send that to me. Like, that would be a big help. So I can say, oh, okay, well, I can see you had 0 protein yesterday. That's a problem. We need to fix that, right? And then from this video, you also probably already know the places that you need to work on. So I think, though, the main thing about tracking what you put in your mouth is that it makes you more aware. And automatically, it holds people more accountable when they have to either write it down or put it in MyFitnessPal. They're like, maybe I shouldn't have that chocolate chip cookie or that bag of M&Ms, right? Because I have to write it down. Like, if you don't write it down, like it didn't happen, right? Well, it still happens, okay? And that's also another problem I run into is, people just stop tracking. They have what they deem bad food item. We'll talk about food shaming another time because that's a whole nother issue. They'll have one bad food item and then they just stop tracking. Like, that day, the rest of the week, they're just off the rails, right? Guys, just because you don't track it doesn't mean you didn't eat it, okay? It is what it is, okay? Own it, and once you start owning your decisions, I think you're going to feel better about, the outcome of that. So, where do I start? Track your food and be honest, okay? Write it down, take a photo, whatever. All right, after that, let's talk about MyFitnessPal. You can go to myfitnesspal.com, and like I said, if you're looking for some direction as far as calories and macros goes, please ask me. Don't just go with whatever the website tells you, because they are almost always going to be low on calories. And I don't want you to plateau way earlier than you need to, and I don't want you to be suffering unnecessarily. Okay, so if you would like some guidance in that area after you have tracked for a week or two, okay, come to me and I will help you with that. Okay, but myfitnesspal.com, if you want to hop on there, start tracking your intake, that's great. That's option number one. Okay, option number two. Sorry, and I just dove in here. I'm going to talk through, these are my tools in my tool belt, okay, that I talked about. These are some of the things that could help you stay on track. All of these tools are going to be a little bit different. Some may resonate better with you than others, and that's kind of what I'm trying to give you as options here, okay? So option one, MyFitnessPal, okay? Or some combination of all of these, by the way. You can use these in tandem with each other. Option number two, 21-day fix from Beachbody. I think all of you are probably familiar with this, if not most of you, but these are the fun little color coordinated containers. I know Krista Smith had some great success with these. She still uses these every once in a while just to help her get back on track, because it's super easy. There's no measuring, there's no tracking, you just eat whatever it tells you to. So at the top of this page, it takes you through a basic calculator, okay? Again, this will just be a starting point, all right? A basic calculator for what plan you should be on. So there's a plan A, plan B, plan C. It even gives you the calorie target range up here, and then it'll tell you how many of what you should be eating here, okay? So the green represents your vegetables, the purple is your fruit, the red containers are your protein, you got carbs, healthy fats, and then your nuts and seeds and oils and dressings and all that are down there in the little boxes. So they look kind of like this. I don't have all of mine because I've used them for a long time. But they're super stackable, super easy. And what you do is you prepare your food, and then all you got to do is dip out your carb portion, and there it is, okay? You didn't have to measure it, you didn't have to weigh it, nothing. You just put your carbs in here, plop it on the plate, okay? The good thing about all of these Beachbody products is Beachbody has a huge database of resources for you. So if you don't know what a carb is, if you're not sure if something is a carb or a protein or considered a carb or a protein, you have this cool little sheet to refer to, and that way you know when you go in, hey, is that quinoa a carb, or can I call that a protein? And no, you can't call quinoa a protein, okay? Because it's incomplete, all right? So that is 21-day fix. Little portion control containers that help you build an ideal nutrition plan for the course of the day, okay? So another great thing about this is you have these certain numbers to hit, and it doesn't matter if you have 3 vegetables in the morning and then you don't have to have any more throughout the course of the day, okay? So what I really like about this is it's reiterating that nutrient timing importance, you know, that it's way at the top of the pyramid, because it doesn't matter when you get all these in as long as you get it all in, okay? So that's the 21-day fix, all right? Along with 21-day fix, obviously, most of you know Shakeology. I drink it every single day. That's your vitamins and minerals right there, a lot of the micronutrients that we need. It's also got probiotics and prebiotics that can replace your multivitamin, lots of different stuff. It can also be a meal replacement if you're looking for something quick like that, especially if you're on the go a lot, you're somebody who can't stop to eat at work, stuff like that. It works really well for. I usually dump a little bit more protein powder in mine and have a banana with it, and then that's more like a meal to me than the 160 calories that the shake actually is, okay? So that is always an option for, keeping your calories in check, would be meal replacement with Shakeology, okay? Let's see here. Another Beachbody product is the 2B Mindset program. And the 2B Mindset is our two bunnies here, okay? It's water first, veggies most, okay? So you're always drinking water, and you're having vegetables before you let yourself have anything else if you're still hungry, okay? On the other side, you are always tracking your daily intake, and you're logging your weight, okay? Track your daily intake and logging your weight, all right? So those are our 2 bunnies here, our 2B Mindset, okay? And the way that 2B Mindset works is it gives you these neat little planners here, and these plates show you exactly what you should be eating, or what your plate should look like at every single meal that you have, okay? And this is a journal, a log sheet. It has a place for the date, a place for your weight, place for if you lost weight, so it'll have the, your total loss there, and then how many hours of sleep did you get last night. So there's a lot of stuff there that you can track that will make sure that you're on set or on track. Current mindset, I really like that. So it's starting to dig deeper into your feelings and how that affects your day and your food choices. Okay. But then after that, it's got your water, your goal up here. Did I meet my goal? And then for breakfast, it'll tell you half your plate should be protein and half your plate should be carbs. Okay. And then for lunch, it'll say half your plate should be veggies, a quarter should be protein, and a quarter should be carbs. All right. So it gives you those great little pictograms to go off of there that show you what your plate should look like as you're going through your day. It'll ask you what time you ate, and then at the bottom, it'll ask you for your exercise, extra credit, and then it'll say, how was your day? Your day was great, your day was good, your day was awful, tell me about it. So then you've got so much information every single day. And guys, this really doesn't take that long, okay? It really, really doesn't. I know it seems like a lot of information, but it really doesn't take that long, okay? So that's 2B Mindset. It also comes with 15 different videos about Alana is her name. Her mindset towards food and how she came to be where she is. She was severely overweight, so it talks a lot about just different strategies for eating out, emotional eating, different things like that. So it comes with a neat little app that you can use to track instead of this. So that is a great tool to use as well. That goes a little bit deeper into the mindset of healthy eating. So that's 2B Mindset through Beachbody. Oh, what's next here? Precision Nutrition. This is the certification that I received. And what I loved about Precision Nutrition is that it gave you a step-by-step process. So when we talk about, changing our behaviors towards food, we always need to remember that we have to take it one step at a time. Most people's problem is they try and change everything at once, and then they're just set up for failure because it's just too much. You can't change your entire life in one fell swoop, okay? So you've got to take it in small increments. Make a small goal. Once you reach that, you can move on to another one, okay? But a couple of resources I have here from Precision are the MyPlate, and this is kind of like myplate.org. It's something from the government that they've kind of just adapted. But again, it will show you what a good plate should look like. So you've got a little bit of fruit or dessert, your protein, half your plate is vegetables, a little bit of starches, and maybe a little bit of healthy fats, okay? And then, of course, your water up there in the corner. Down here, it's giving you 5 different points to help you curb that calorie intake. So eat slowly and stop eating when you're 80% full. Eat more vegetables than fruit. Choose mostly whole foods with minimal processing. Choose local or organic foods when possible. And use smaller or larger plates based on your own body size. Okay, so those are just some neat little tips, and this is just in one pictograph here, okay? So if you did nothing else, and all you did was made sure your plate looked like this every single day for every single meal, I bet you would see results, okay? Just throwing that out there. So that's one resource that they have. Another one that they have that I really like is this food and emotions, this eating behaviors journal. So it's got just several different lines here, and this is an example one that they've already filled out, but so it'll say what time is it and what did you eat. So it says at 7 a.m. I had black coffee, I'm staying on track today with my diet, I'm doing intermittent fasting, and then I did 45 minutes of fasted cardio. So it says what are you doing, feeling, or thinking. So what it does is it lets you notice associations with food and the way you feel, even if it's later in the day or directly after you eat something. Maybe like on this one it says large coffee with cream and sugar, and then I had a muffin, gave in and ate the muffin at the meeting, feeling guilty and ashamed. Okay, so that is one step to noticing and recognizing those emotions that are connected with the food that we eat. All right, so this is an eating behaviors journal, and I really think it's a great way, especially if you're an emotional eater. You're an emotional eater, that might be a great option for you. Okay, so that's our eating behaviors journal. And then lastly here with Precision, we have this neat little hand-sized portion guide. Okay, so if all else fails, you're out to dinner, you have no idea, what to eat, and you want to stay on track, the great thing about your portion control being your hand is that number one, it fits to you, your body, okay? I'm a smaller person. I should probably be eating smaller portions, right? Okay? My hand's smaller. That just fits, all right? Unless you're one of those weirdos with super large hands. I don't know. Sorry, not to say those with large hands are weirdos, but just saying, okay? You get the idea. Your palm is your protein size, okay? Your fist is your veggie portion. Your cupped hand is your carb portion. And then your thumb should be your fat portion, okay? So there's super, super easy ways to kind of make sure your portions are under control when you have no way to measure, no way to track, none of that, okay? As long as those portion sizes are under control, you're probably going to make pretty good decisions, okay? So I will put all of these resources up on the Facebook page. Let me make sure I got all those. Oh, lastly, I've also read of another, I did the Girls Gone Strong certification, and they focused a lot on setting one goal at a time, like I talked about before, but it's like the low-hanging fruit. So you start with water. If you are hitting your water goal for at least 80% of the time for, say, 2 weeks, then you can move on to the next goal of eating protein in every meal. If you do that for 2 weeks, then you can move on to the next goal with the thought that you will continue to build upon those healthy habits, and then at some point, you know, you'll be moving on to tougher things like getting all your fruits and veggies in and things like that. So that's also a really great way to approach nutrition. So anyway, I'm going to put all of these resources up on the in our group here. I'll attach this video to it as well. But I want you guys to have access to these resources, and that way you can go back and refer to them, see what might be a good option for you, what might work for you. You can print things off, excuse me, and kind of just decide what works best for you. If you have any questions, obviously, please comment on this video. That's one of the easiest ways for me to help you guys and answer your questions, is for you to post in the Facebook group. Shoot me an email, shoot me a text, and that way I can get back to it when I have time. Text may not be the best way, as some of you might realize I lose text fairly easily. And sometimes people have the same questions that you do. So if you can hop on here and you know, just post it in the Facebook group, and that way I can answer it for the group. And don't be embarrassed. Don't feel like your question is stupid. Nobody's questions are stupid. Everybody starts somewhere different, and we all just want to learn and get better, and that's what we're here to do, and that's what I'm here to help you do, okay? So I hope that was helpful to some of you. If you have, like I said, more questions, or if you need some more pointed direction, please let me know. We will be setting up appointments for our end of the year goals review and goals for the new year, obviously moving forward. And I hope I can touch base a little bit more personally with each of you then. But I hope this gets some of you through to something more sustainable as far as nutrition goes until that time. Last but not least, do what's right for you, guys. Don't get caught up in making things more difficult than they need to be. Don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace. Nobody's perfect, and that's myself included. So just give yourself some grace and know that this is a process, and it's a learning process, and you're not expected to know everything. You're not expected to be perfect. So the goal for me is that you at least try every day to be a little bit better. And as long as you're not saying, screw it, I had a glass of wine, so now I'm just going to wing it the rest of the night or the rest of the week or the rest of the year, whatever that means to you. I just want us to have a little bit more self-control, a little bit more focus, and don't get mad at the results that you don't get with the work that you don't do, okay? So consistency is the key, but you have got to make sure that nutrition is on point and at least getting a little bit better every day, okay? So those are my thoughts for you today. I hope this wasn't too long. Sorry, I got a little long-winded at some points. But again, if you have any questions, please post here, and I hope I can answer some more of them for you. Thanks, ladies.